A woodpecker slams its face into solid wood about 20 times a second. Up to 12,000 times a day. Each hit slams its head to a stop at over 1,000 Gs. For comparison, you get a concussion at around 100. So why isn't every woodpecker in the forest lying on the ground, seeing little cartoon stars? The answer is way weirder than the one you were taught. For decades, the story was simple and satisfying. Woodpeckers, we were told, have a built-in crash helmet. Spongy bone, special shock absorbers, a skull designed to soak up the blow like a tiny airbag. It's in textbooks. It's in museums. And in 2022, scientists filmed them in super slow motion and proved it is basically wrong. Think about it. If a woodpecker's skull actually absorbed the shock, that would be a disaster. Because all that absorbed energy would have to come back out of the bird's own muscles on the very next peck. It would be like trying to hammer a nail with a sponge. The bird would exhaust itself instantly. So evolution did the exact opposite. The woodpecker's head is not a shock absorber. It's a stiff, rigid hammer. The whole skull is built to be as hard and unbending as possible, so almost all the energy goes into the wood, and not into the bird. The woodpecker isn't protected from the impact. It's just really, really good at delivering it. So if the skull doesn't cushion the blow, why is the brain totally fine? Here's the uncomfortable secret. The brain is just really, really small. A woodpecker's brain weighs about 2 grams. That's lighter than a single grape. And that teeniness is its superpower. Because concussions aren't really about force. They're about how that force is spread, and how long the shaking lasts. A tiny, light brain, packed snugly against the skull with almost no room to rattle, feels the hit for a fraction of a millisecond. The impact is brutal, but it's over so fast, and spreads so evenly, that it stays just under the line that would scramble it. Bigger brain, bigger problem. The woodpecker wins by being a featherweight. But evolution did bolt on a couple of genuinely amazing safety features. The first is a bone called the hyoid. In most animals it's a tiny bone at the base of the tongue. In a woodpecker, it is enormously long. It wraps all the way around the back of the skull and over the top, like a built-in seatbelt strapping the brain in place. Every single strike, that bony belt holds everything steady. The second feature is the one nobody warns you about. A fraction of a second before each impact, the woodpecker snaps a third eyelid shut over its eye. Partly to block flying sawdust. But mostly, scientists think, to physically hold the eyeball in its socket. Because without it, the force might pop the bird's eyes clean out of its head. Let that image live with you for a moment. Even the beak is in on the plan. The top and bottom halves are slightly different lengths, which helps steer the force down and away from the brain, instead of straight back into it. Nothing about this bird is an accident. It's a precision demolition tool that happens to have feathers. So forget the crash helmet. The woodpecker survives not because its head is soft, but because its head is hard, its brain is tiny, and its body is rigged with seatbelts and eyeball locks. It isn't surviving the impact. It's engineered to win it. So next time you hear that knocking in the trees, picture it properly. A tiny dinosaur, with a brain the size of a grape, eyelids slammed shut, head butting a tree 20 times a second, 12,000 times a day, and feeling absolutely fine. We really did underestimate the birds. If you just learned something gloriously useless, hit subscribe. We answer questions like these all the time.